as just a student is creating change in Philippines, and I was personally also very inspired by your achievements and wishing you all the best for your future endeavors. Thank you so much. All right.
Next.
As we move forward, I would like to ask a very simple question for you, Simriti. As we are done with very the one speaker, as well as you, my co-host Mahesh. I would like to ask you that something I was really willing to ask that, and that is something what makes you excited for this summit for upcoming parts, because we have amazing lineup of speakers and activities for participants. For me, it's very much networking. I always love to connect with all over the world with young change makers, climate activists, and we have different people from different time zones with a one shared mission for the climate change. So I would like to ask you, Simriti, what's something very special to you and very excited you're about?
For me, honestly, it was definitely about networking. But then it's also about our next speaker, which is Manail Hamid. She is like an inspiration for me. I think I'm very much excited to hear from her.
All right, we'd like
What
to
about you,
give the floor
Mahesh?
to Mahesh.
Uh, for me, I'm really excited to hear from her because the speaker I'm talking about is someone who doesn't just talk about change but actually works to create it. As she's from National University of Sciences and Technology, she works in sustainability and inclusion. She is not someone who posts and disappears after 24 hours like an Instagram story, but someone who's committed to real. Let's welcome Manail Hamid to the stage.
Hello,
Ma'am, the
everybody.
stage is yours.
Am I audible?
Yes, you are.
Okay, guys. Assalamu alaikum and welcome. Oh, wonderful, wonderful introduction. Thank you so much for that. And I'm so happy to see you all. I was going through the participant list and I was seeing some of the familiar names. So, firstly, congratulations to the organizing team and the leadership for this summit. You guys doing a great, great job. And talking about today's topic, which is climate change, the way I'm going to be talking for the next 20-25 minutes, it's a little bit of a different perspective, a bit distinct from what we're seeing, in the mainstream discourse. So let me know when you guys are ready, and then I can just start.
We're all set. You can
All,
start.
all right, great. Acha. So, I would like to see would you guys be able to talk and engage while we go through? So, can I ask you guys questions in between? Is that fine?
Yes, you can ask.
Okay,
Yes.
great, great. Okay, so I do not have any slides. I do have my notes though. Oh, I was on a little bit of a time crunch, but we'll try to make it as engaging as possible. So, talking about climate change, the topic I'm going through is how can we view climate change not just as a scientific issue, but beyond science. So, yeah. So, when we think about climate change, what do you guys think it is? What's climate change for you guys in the most simplest form?
क्या हो गया कार 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 में
Okay, I'm having some replies in the chat. Let me go through it. Change of weather patterns, sustainability, change in nature. Okay, okay, guys. Asha. So till now, what we've grown up talking about, what we're seeing climate change as, we are seeing it as a environmental issue, as a scientific issue. So in short, if I talk about what climate change is, the mainstream understanding of what climate change is, what we're understanding is it's the rise in the GHG emission, the GHG gases, which is basically causing the rise in temperature that is causing our atmosphere to warm up. And uske baad aapke ice that is melting, there's change in weather patterns, the climate is changing over time, right? So what so far we've understood climate change as being a physical process, right? But if that's the true, can we say that the more data we get about climate as a science, uh, it can lead to more action? Would you guys agree with that? You guys can do like thumbs up or anything like that. Okay, great. Okay, then my question is, if we do agree with more data leading to more action, why do we see a delay in action by the governments? Number one. Secondly, while we do have clear evidence that climate change is happening, why are we still continuing to, you know, increase our emissions? And thirdly, if climate change is an established fact, it's a thing, why are some populations being affected more than the others? Okay, we're having some replies. Take care, policies, implementations. Okay, great. Okay, Acha, so now that we've like thodi si I've laid down the base, the way I'm going to be talking about climate change, uh, I'm going to be looking at from the perspective of not just science, but also taking into the concepts of power, inequality, the global economic systems, and the ethical responsibilities. And then we'll be moving on to some of the myths or some of the major arguments that we are seeing in the mainstream discourse, and do we or do we not agree with that, and going on with that. Acha, हमने बात कर ली carbon climate change, or we've established that it is a reality, right? But there is a group there is a group of people who think that this process is a natural process. Climate change is a natural process, and it is not due to the human activities. And it is there because जो GHG emissions are, जो GHG gases, and they've been in our atmosphere for centuries. So, do you guys agree with that? That climate change is a natural process and it was inevitable? Do you guys agree or disagree? Okay, we're seeing some thumbs up, some thumbs down. Anybody else? So I'll repeat the question. What I was asking is, do we think that climate change is a natural process? And if it's a natural process, do we also agree that it is not being caused by the human activities? That climate change is not human induced. Okay, disagree. Why is the government not taking action? Personally, I think, Prof. Okay, smog and climate change issues. ठीक है, natural process. Total gas by human activities. ठीक है. All right. अच्छा. So, if it's a natural process, let's see. Some of you guys agreed with it. ठीक है, okay, it's a natural process. If it is a natural process, then why are we having, you know, like the increase in temperature? Okay. Okay, not natural, man-made. ठीक है. The people who are agreeing with this being a natural process and the people who are agreeing with it being man-made, could you guys give one reasons for why you guys say what you say? Okay. Anthropogenic sources and natural causes, right? Okay, Simriti, can you share the screen for the website that I shared with you?
Sure, just give me a minute.
Okay, all right. Till she's doing that, so one thing that we're going to talk about, that climate change, as we talked about greenhouse gases, they have been there in our atmosphere for decades, right? So there has been increase in the level of GHG emissions throughout the years, but that increase were pretty minimal. That did not have severe impacts, but especially after industrialization and after World War II, when our industrial activity started increasing, when capitalism increased, when our economic needs had to be met, the carbon emissions did increase severely. So, if you could go down, there's going to be this graph, which is called carbon CO2 emissions per capita. This one, yeah. Okay. And if you can go and uncheck all the boxes on the left apart from the world one. Okay, so guys, this website is called Our World in Data, and it's actually a really good website for you to analyze some statistics. And it's just not for climate or with just like carbon emissions, but otherwise as well. If you guys are using, um, for research or any other subject. So this line that you guys are seeing right now, this is the carbon CO2 emissions per capita, and it's from 1946 to 2024. Now, first increase that you see is that it was very stagnant up until 19 wait, let me see. So up until 1850. And then the second increase, which was very exponential, that was from 1950. Now, when you start tracing back the causes and when you start looking back in the history, you see that in 1950s there was World War. In 1850s and around that, industrialization, industrial activities was increasing. So, if you start linking those factors, you would say that carbon emissions and the increase in carbon is somewhat human induced. It is somewhat linked to your human activities, while the GHG emissions and the warming of atmosphere is a natural process. However, the the drastic increase that we saw, that was due to the rise in our human activities. Okay, even on this website, just for more information, you guys can go and see there's other graphs too. And then what you can do is you can compare the world average with other countries' average as well. Okay. So right now you can just minimize it and I can go forward and then we'll be coming back to the website. This same, graph. Okay. Now that we've talked about the human induced climate change, another thing that we can talk about is you know, the inequality, the unequal impacts of climate change. Okay, so majority of you guys might know that Pakistan is, one of the top five most affected countries in terms of climate change, but the emissions that we are contributing to the world, they are less than 1%, the world average, right? While this is the case at global level, what we can see is that climate change के जो effects हैं वो unequal हैं at our national level as well. There's this very important study by Fiza Batool called Empty Granary. ठीक है? It's an article about the Ishkoman Valley in the north. And a granary is basically the place where they were storing grains. So Ishkoman Valley earlier was a very, resource-rich valley, had food in surplus, and they had food to the point where in the winters, what they do is they'd store their grains in that granary. But after the Karakoram International Highway was built and the commute started increasing and the trade started increasing, there were new regulations and there were new policies. What happened then was that the Ishkoman Valley, the people of the valley, they were asked to move to monocropping. Monocropping means a single type of crop. And why did that happen? That was due to that the government wanted crops which were basically export driven. So पहले जो हो रहा था कि they had very diverse crops which was meeting their nutritional needs of the valley. They had surplus food which they were storing for winter months as well. But now when they moved to the monocropping, how did that affect area? So firstly, monocropping did not meet the nutritional needs. They were short on food. Secondly, when you were growing the same crop in the same region, the the soil wasn't having the time to replenish the nutrients there. And that led to आपकी जमीन जो कि वो बहुत बंजर हो गई, आप और ग्रो नहीं कर पा रहे थे वहाँ, ठीक है। पहले जब डाइवर्स आपके होते हैं क्रॉप्स, उसमें ये होता है कि यू ग्रो वन क्रॉप एंड देन आफ्टर दैट यू शिफ्ट टू अनदर क्रॉप, ठीक है। सो दैट गिव्स the the land the time to replenish the nutrients. But when we move to monocropping, आपकी soil से वो चीजें निकलना शुरू हो गई जो आपके न्यूट्रिएंट्स से पूरे हो रहे थे। Secondly, when there was just one crop, जो आपकी community की nutritional needs थी, they were not being met. And the granary that I was talking about, that was used as a metaphor, and that was said to be left empty. So, do you guys see the impacts? So, the whole impact happened just because we wanted to maximize the profits. And in a way, what I'm trying to say here is climate change is, in a way, being caused by capitalist activities. Okay. Another thing that I'm gonna say is that now when we move on, I'm gonna be having a couple of mainstream arguments that I wanna talk about. So firstly, again, I'm gonna have this argument, and if you guys agree with it or disagree with this, you guys can put a thumbs up or a thumbs down. Consumer demand is the main cause of climate change. Do you guys agree with it or disagree with it? Okay. Okay, we're having a mixed thumbs up, thumbs down. All right. All right, guys. Okay. So when we talk about consumer demand, what we're saying is कि जो consumerism है, वो cause कर रहा है आपकी climate change को. That also means that your individual consumption patterns, which are basically involving you buying too many goods, using excessive energy, how your lifestyle is wasting resources, all three of these things are leading to climate change. Partly, this is true, but if you majorly look at it, um, we see what is happening here is that we're saying that climate change, rather than it being a responsibility of the institutions and the system, it should be an individual responsibility. So you're shifting the responsibilities here from the institutions to the individuals. Are you guys getting the point till here? Can I get maybe in comment? Okay, we're getting reactions. So when you say that consumer demand is the main cause of climate change, आपने सारी responsibility अपने institution से, अपनी state से, you guys shifted it to the what you're saying is individuals. And while at individual level, you can take steps which can help you, to adapt to the climate change. And however, until and unless the states are involved, the system is involved, you would not be able to do much about it. So always remember that this main course, demand was made so that it's easier for the states and for the governments to shift the blame from them, from the corporations to the individuals. And you need to understand that rather than climate change being an issue of consumption, it's an issue of production. Okay, so individuals are operating in systems which they do not control. These systems are being controlled by corporations, and corporations are basically eventually, you know, uh, deciding your lifestyle. अब बात करते हो कि you know, there's this very common thing that you say is जो consumption है और जो इंडिविजुअल किसी भी चीज की डिमांड है तो इस वजह से हम प्रोड्यूस करें. आई थिंक सो यू ऑलरेडी हर्ड ऑफ दिस वेरी कॉमन. बट a very controversial thing that I'm going to say is that it's not that the market forces are creating the demand, but it's more likely the demand is purposely being created. One of the examples that I'm going to give you guys is about that I would like for you guys to look for is the demand of milk after World War II. So I would like, after this, session ends, I would like you guys to go up and look for it. That how milk, the demand of milk was created after World War II, because the farmers in European countries, the prices had fallen and they were suffering. And since farmers were a major, voter bank, the governments had to make policies that profited them so that they can get the vote. So all if you start connecting the dots, you will keep on realizing that climate change was never neutral. It was being controlled by politics. It was controlled, by these capitalistic demands. It was being done to maximize profit in one way or another. Another example, I'm going to be talking about another example. It's about the Coca-Cola factory in Plachimada. Plachimada is in Kerala. Okay. So what happened is that a Coca-Cola factory was set up there in India. And what they did was they were asked to build 6 water wells, and there was a certain regulation that was set that they cannot extract, more than this amount of water. But what they did is they started extracting so much water that the water table of that area that started to fall down. This led to water shortage in that area. So the community people who were living there, they started suffering because now there was no water. The factories were extracting that water. Okay. Another question I'm gonna ask you guys. Why do you guys
Manal,
think yes?
uh, sorry for the interruption. I do have
Hmm.
a small request. Can you please
Yeah.
conclude by 10:05 so we can
Yeah.
stay aligned with our schedule? Thank you.
Yeah, yes. Sure, sure. Okay, if I can, resuming back to it, while I continue on with this, why do you guys think that, the major factories in the world, the major corporations are setting up their factories, their plants in global south, in areas like India, in areas like Pakistan? What is the reason? Could you guys just go ahead and give me that reasons in the comment section? Just like one liner, what you guys think. Okay, soil. Okay, land. Cheap labor. Okay, yes. Okay, so somebody wrote cheap labor, flexible and non-strict policies. Yes, that is actually what is the case. Apple, for example, you guys all know Apple. Apple has its in a assembly plant set up in uh China. And the reason we're talking about they're setting it in China is because the labor is very cheap there. The policies, trade policies are very easy. They're flexible. And while you guys might think, why am I talking about Apple and industries and how is that linked to climate change? So, labor and climate change, they are very much interconnected. So, everything that we've talked about yet is that climate change is very much, driven by production systems and capitalist activities. So, wherever there are industries, that means that you want to maximize profit. And when you are maximizing profit and setting up big industries, you would always want to go for areas which have cheap labor. And when there's cheap labor, you guys need to understand that in areas like Pakistan, in China, in Bangladesh, where major corporations are setting up their plants, they do not have good working conditions. So in short, if you connect from A to point Z, what you're understanding is that workers' conditions are pretty much being affected by climate change as well, and how that is being linked. Are you guys getting the link till now? Okay, so I think so. We're short on time, but last thing I'm just gonna conclude by saying is thing that I would like for you guys to go and see and study about carbon markets. So you can study about carbon markets and study from a perspective that how this $1 billion of economy was created and who is benefiting from it. So, in short, the way I'm gonna conclude this, I'm gonna say is climate change is uh, not just about being a scientific issue. It's an issue of politics. It's an issue of economics. It's a issue of society. And when you guys do look into it, please try to look beneath the surface, be more critical, ask more questions, and try to understand that whenever a policy is coming or whenever decision is being made, who is benefiting, who will have the access, and who will control the benefits. I hope you guys had a good session. And if you guys have any questions or anything mentioned, if you wanted any more information about anything that I mentioned, I could share you guys readings, any more resource materials, and you guys can reach out to me on LinkedIn. So thank you guys.
Bye bye, ma'am. It was excellently very good. Thank you so much, ma'am Manahil, for your valuable insights and for sharing such a practical perspective with us. I truly got also the notes. I also made notes of all the things that you have told us to discuss and to learn. We truly appreciate your time and the clarity you brought to this discussion. Now,
Thank you, Saad. I'm just gonna say this, okay, it was great connecting with you all. I will be sharing notes if anybody wants it. And I had a great time connecting with you all in the last summer school. And for the new upcoming batches, I'm just gonna announce that we are gonna be having the next summer school, inshallah, in the coming June and July. So we're gonna be having 4 chapters, and anybody willing to come forward for it, we'd be happy to host you guys. Thank you so
uh,
much, guys. Have a good day. Bye bye.
okay, just to clarify, I am Manish Lakhwani, and I now have a challenge for all of you guys. From what you just heard, what is one change you think institutions must make, not later, but now? Drop it in the chat box. Let's see how you guys think. And that meanwhile, what do you think, Simrati, about this? Okay, Ramisha has said practical session. Okay. Filter their waste, better policies, hands-on experience. Yeah, I truly agree with your point. Responsibility. Yeah, you should have ownership of everything you do. A great point. Our mentor used to always say us that you should always take responsibility. Even if there is a single piece of trash on the road, it's your responsibility as a citizen of Pakistan, as a citizen of your state. Accountability, truly, reliability. Correct. What do you guys think about Sajaved?
Mahesh, honestly, it's such a wonderful point, and I have the same mentor as you, and he has told us together that to take the responsibility of your own environment, and such big organization like AFS, what they actually do is for in our work as well. What we should do is create active global change makers, because I think because we have change makers here from all around the world, so we're gathered here, we're exchanging ideas with each other, and it's such a wonderful platform for the people, especially who started as a climate change and wanted to willing to learn, or especially creating um a change on the global level. So it's such a wonderful opportunity. Maish, what do you think about it? Isn't it?
Yeah, indeed it is. The stage is to Simrati.
All right, I like to also contribute a bit to it. I think the one of the core leadership abilities a person should have is reliability, and I think this is something that should also be taught in classrooms. And of course, we're taught in our classrooms. So I also urge other classrooms, other schools to also teach this. Now we'll finally move towards our second speaker, which is Janera Kayam. The floor is yours, Janera.
Hello everyone. Hello.
Hello.
I hope I'm audible. Am
Yes,
I
you're audible.
okay?
Yes.
Uh, First, I can't open my camera, so sorry for that. Basically, there are some issues for that, so that's why I hope that's all okay.
Yes, that's completely fine.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Okay, everyone. This is me, Zunaira Qayyum, and I'm a 14 years old youth advocate for climate action and women empowerment from Hub Balochistan. And today, I will be sharing some my story with you all, my journey as a youth advocate, and also as from the last talks, I can already see how you guys are aware and thoughtful that you guys are. And honestly, this is the place that where change begins. So yeah, it's truly an honor to be with you all. So let me introduce myself first. My name is Zunaira Qayyum, and I'm a youth advocate for climate action and women empowerment for UNICEF Pakistan, and I come from Balochistan. So my journey as a youth advocate didn't start with a title or recognition, I must say. It started with a feeling, the feeling that something around me wasn't right. Growing up, I witnessed that climate change is not as a concept, but it's a reality that is hitting us very hard. So extreme, like the I must say, the extreme heat, the floods, and that make our everyday life very exhausting. So yeah, environmental challenges that affect they were affect our basic living, and also the 2022 floods after that, which my journey started. So what I saw was that they were not just destroying the homes, but they were disrupt lives, they were disrupt education system, and especially the mental well-being of children. I myself came up with phobia, which is named something named as umbraphobia. So that phobia is like you know uh, that phobia is the of rain, and and after the 2022 floods I come up with that phobia. So it was a mental health disorder, I must say, that not just me but other kids at just 10 or 11 years old, you're coming with this. So this is not something simple, and this is not something just to be to be in the conferences, but it must turn into real action, and that's my motive to do. And what I remember thinking was that, what can I do? I'm just a student of 6th or 7th grade. What can I do? My school is no more, and maybe some of you felt the same in maybe of whatever you were there, like in any climate situation or climate induced disaster. You must think the same. But I guess here's what I learned, that just do not need to be powerful to start. You don't need to be a politician, sorry, someone like a decision maker. You just need to care enough to take one step. And that is the thing that I really want to share with you guys, that in 2023 I did the grassroots level work in my community as much I could. And then I applied for the UNICEF's policy research challenges again. Here, I really want to say that you must apply for that too. And I wasn't that confident. I didn't think that I would be selected, but I applied anyway. So yeah, and then one step changed everything, I must say. And I was later selected for the Youth Advocacy Champions training in Nepal. I represented Pakistan at COP29, and now I've started my youth organization, which is named as Youth in Action. I'm really proud of it. And we are now working on climate awareness, plastic free schools, and mental health in Balochistan. And but none of this happened overnight. It started small. It took me, I must say, like 3 to 4 years. Um, and today I want to that is the thing, that it's my journey, but it can be yours too. Nothing is about the opportunities. I have seen many young people who run behind opportunities, but what you actually see is they just want to attend the big conferences, they want to be on the tables, but no, that is not the main motive. The main motive is to bring a change, and that is what I really want to say, you guys. Don't run behind the opportunities are going to run behind you. That is one thing that I've learned from my whole journey. Next, I want to talk about something that is very close to my heart, which is climate change and women empowerment. Because in Balochistan, you may have heard, they're like, these are not separate issues. They are deeply connected. When people hear climate change, they often imagine global problems, glaciers melting, and all the things. But where I come from, it looks really, really personal. It looks like extreme heat that limits daily life. It looks like the water scarcity that we have. It looks like the floods that take away stability, the homes, education, and even the lives of children. So, and in the middle of this are women and girls. I am the first woman. I'm the first girl in my community to get education. In my mother, she was married at the age of 16, and she didn't got to choose her life, neither to just do anything. But coming up with a cultural and societal norms in my like I can now in 10th grade, so I hope I will study further too. So yeah, that is the thing that in many communities, girls already face the challenges. For example, the limited access to education, fewer opportunities, and social expectations. Now, add climate change to add to that reality. And when there is water scarcity, girls are the ones walking long distances. When disasters happen, girls' education is often the first to stop. When families struggle, girls are expected to surface. And so, climate change is not just environmental. For many of you, maybe it is, but it is a gender issue. It is a just issue to me. And despite this all, I have seen strength. I have seen girls continue their education during the my research I did with for 6 months in the village side of Hub. Is named as Sakran. Maybe some of you been here to very beautiful place, but same thing, like I met many girls over there who couldn't continue their education. But and when but after a lot of sayings and all, they got permission from their parents to go to school. But unfortunately their schools were just flooded. They were washed away because of the floods, and after that they couldn't continue their education. And this is not the story of one girl. This is the story of hundreds of people in Balochistan. So yeah, I have seen those girls to continue their education against all the odds, similar to me. And I have seen young voices rising, and when silence is expected, as you guys are doing, really proud. And I stand here today, I'm telling you all today that as one of those voices too. So yeah, a girl from Balochistan who was not expected to be any I have been to the United Nations General Assembly. So this shows something important. Where you come from doesn't limit you, or where you can go that doesn't limit you from where you can go. So yeah, this I guess one story is not enough. We need more girls to rise. We need more youth to rise. We need more voices to be heard, because empowering women is not just about the giving opportunities. It's about the removing the barriers that we have created for our own selves. So I would be just telling you some points that how can we start for the students who are over here. Like all of students, like maybe we all, yeah, maybe we all are the students over here. So a lot of students think opportunities like UNICEF are only for the perfect people, but they are not. And they're not for the people who are willing to try. They're for the people who are willing to try. So yeah, just I must say that you just ask yourself what issue matters to you. Okay, let me just get in the chat that what is one issue that really matters to you, that is really close to heart. Can I get a sum of messages in the chat, please? What is one issue that really close to your heart? Or water scarcity? Okay, Mariam. Poor education quality, thank you. Okay, I see. Responsible use of energy, gender barriers. Okay, social barriers, women empowerment, really good. So look, these are the issues that I was talking about, that we all have this, this is the passion that keeps you going. So yeah, just keep this passion with you all. And I saw that how you are passionate about this. Okay. So just, and then the second step is first find out that start with what you care about. The second, I must say that start small. You do not need a big platform. You don't need UNICEF. You don't need UN. You don't need these. In my case, I started with a no plastics policy in my own school, which failed for 3 times. So the thing is that small step is leads to a real impact. So just ask yourself: can I start something in my school, in my university, in my college, or can I raise awareness? Can I gather a few people and create change? Yeah. So I guess you can, and everything will lead to yes in the end. And then the third thing is apply for opportunities. Coming from Balochistan, I have seen people. I was one of them, by the way. That we are not given that much opportunities. You better know it. But we have to create opportunities for ourselves. You must go for just what I said. Just first thing is that you, if you care about something, it will happen. So just you must follow UNICEF's pages, the UN youth programs, the NGOs. You must follow them on Instagram, on LinkedIn, or wherever, and then apply for the fellowships, the trainings, or the boot camps they have. And even if you feel unready, just apply for it, because take every opportunity that comes to you. And this is how the growth begins. And then step number 4, I would be saying you, is that build connections. This is the really really important thing that I have seen in my the journey that I have had. I went to the PRC Policy Research Challenge, and it's conference, which sorry, roundtable conference in Islamabad. And after that, I built connections. I went to the sorry, in Nepal. I went to attend a conference, and after that I went to COP29, and then I went to this last year to the United Nations General Assembly. So that was all because of the connections. So reach out to people, ask questions, learn. And connection is not just about the status, it's about the learning and growing that happens within yourself. And work with the organizations and delegations. So when you become part of the programs or delegations, you must be prepared, you must collaborate, you must be authentic. So you many people, I have heard that you have to be perfect in English to just move there. No, even I must say that speak your truth, speak your story. That really matters. That's what connects. Okay, that's what connects to you. And then stay grounded. Always remember your community. Always, because your voice represents them. Always remember this. And the most I must say, the most honest part is challenges. So the journey won't be easy. There will be self-doubts, there would be criticism, there would be pressure. And there were times I felt overwhelmed too. But what matters is you don't stop, because you are representing not just yourself but your country, your community, and you're taking the voice of all. And then just the engagement movement, I must say that one word that describe I would be selling that let's have a bit of um engagement with you guys. What do you think that one word that describes how you feel for example, I told you before to just say one word that you're really passionate about. So one word that you feel about that the issue that you told before. Can I get in the chat then one word that you feel? Gender equality. Okay, sorry. Can you just say some words that you feel regarding the uh, challenge you are facing, or one word that describes your passion level or something? Okay. Hmm. Okay, achieving the goal. Okay, very good, Zohaib. Work for indigenous communities. Not a word, but a quote. Okay, you can share that. Perfect. I love the enthusiasm that you guys carry. Okay, so this. Mm-hmm. Okay. Change begins within. Okay. Vivash is great. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, so Zahra Khan said that I have seen many girls feel insecure while connect to others. That's I think a big barrier. Of course, it is. It is a huge barrier. It's not a barrier. I must say, it's not a barrier that they feel insecure. You can just find the first. You should find that why are you feeling insecure? Okay. Um, if and try to solve that problem. And it's you must not say it a barrier. It is maybe that can lead to your strength too. So yeah. Yes, Mahesh, please. You raise your hand. You raise your hand. Yes.
Zunera,
Yes. Yes.
Zunera, I heard you. Okay, I heard you have applied for the UNICEF scholarship. If possible, could you kindly share the application process or any guidance you followed?
Yes, sure. Um, I didn't apply for UNICEF scholarship, by the way. It was a policy research challenge. So it was a research for, maybe you've heard of it. There's a organization named as School of Leadership Foundation. So that held it, and it was partnershiping with UNICEF. So again, they have come up with the thing, uh, the process. So you can just go and search Policy Research Challenge 2026, and you can apply for that over there.
All right, thank you.
Most welcome. And yeah, so so your words show that how you are, you're feeling for that, and you feel really enthusiastic for the change. So yeah, so to you all are the young people, and you are the future of our country. So yeah, so you don't have to wait to be perfect, I must say, and you should not be wait to be ready. You should not wait to be ready to. So start now, start small, but start. That is the thing, because the world doesn't need more people waiting for change. It needs young people creating it, and that can be you too. So just start from small, even from like from anywhere, like even from a city, small city like hub. So because when one young person rises, they don't rise alone, they bring change with them. So yeah, that is what I wanted to say. And the last thing I really wanted to highlight is, with my experiences I've seen, um the okay, I have been to the global platforms, like for example the biggest conference, COP29 in Azerbaijan. I was over there. Next, I was in the UNGA, like the United Nations General Assembly. I was over there. In the SDG movement, I was over there. And Breathe Pakistan, you have heard of it, it's also coming. So I've been to that places. But the thing is that we only speak, and that is the thing that I hate. Why are we just speaking? Even, just prepare a speech and come and speak. No, that is not a thing. The main thing is to act, and we all must act. And if we talk, there was a person who asked me, when I was attending COP29, and we were on the side, and we were in the UNICEF's, that, and they asked me that, why are you as youth are unionizing? What about the people? We have more experience than you guys and all. So I was like, you guys can make only the decisions like the Paris Agreement and leave it. You're just doing it for, yeah, like there's nothing. If the people, if we don't rise for our, rights as climate, for example climate change, no one else will. So that is the thing. Start rising for, start like standing up for your own rights, and that makes you a real person. This is what I think. And second thing is, our voices are really not heard. If you think that you are a person sitting over here attending only, some events and all, but to me, someone who is a UNICEF's youth advocate or something, our voice is also not heard. Because if it was, we won't survive like this. We just have the, okay, there is a session and there's a no. We are just doing this to show off the world. What about the real impact, which is zero? Okay, why is it zero? Because we really don't care about it. We as and there's a the brainwashed of the youth, there it is. Just we have to attend, just go to countries, fully funded opportunities. That is what our mindset is. But please go ahead from this. Be the real change. Be the real change. And thank you so much. So be the real change, and start from your community. And really, and as I before said you, that you don't run behind opportunities. The opportunities are being will run behind you. So yeah, main thing is you don't be, that just be really impassionate. If you're passionate, everything is gonna be, in your own way. Like, as who would know that a person from Balochistan would go to the United States of America just for representing the voice? No, no. The thing is that I was passionate, and still I am. And I really want you. I want the youth, because if the we are saying the youth are the future, but they are really the present. And what I mean by the present is we are living the challenges in the present. And when they say the youth are the future, they believe that we are gonna face even the things in the future too. But no, we are in the present, and we are living, the climate crisis, the challenges that women are facing in the present, and we're gonna face it in the future too. So why not just to create a better future for ourselves, and start working for our future and for our present? So yeah. And also, I don't know if there is someone in this meeting who is under you know they're like adolescents. I don't know if really they are. But I really want to say that not only youth but the children voices also matter. As a child right advocate, I believe that children have more ideas and they suffer more from us. So please, anyone who has an organization or something, please add children to it. Their decisions really do matter. Their voices really do matter. And you know what? One thing I want to say is, what is the the children? Okay, Janvi, I guess you have a question. Okay, so one thing I want to say that we, although okay, our ancestors have done something like the climate, due to which we are facing the problem, the you must say the consequences. But what about a child who is not even yet born is facing those climate changes, crisis? They are born with the breathing problems. Why? Is it because of us? No, is it because this is because the careless things that we are having? It is just because the youth running behind all the opportunities. So yeah, once again, don't run behind opportunities. You and you don't chase behind them, and start working for the real impact. Start working for things that really matter to you, and find a solution. I told you about all the things, and also do apply for things because your voice matters, and add children to your all the things. So yeah, thank you so much. I hope I didn't okay, I didn't pass the time, but yeah, thank you so much. I hope you liked whatever I said.
All right, thank you so much, Zanera, for being the part of this conference. And honestly, we're
Welcome.
all inspired. You're such an inspiration for all of us, because our a harsh reality we need to accept in Pakistan, around 226 million children cannot go to school, and most of them are girls, and most of them are especially from Balochistan. So coming from this type of background and making it to Nepal, then Azerbaijan and COP29, where people dream to go, and then all the way making it to UN General Assembly. So your journey is truly inspiring, and we wish you all the best to be the part of our initiatives, and as well as best of luck for your future.
Most welcome.
All
Thank you.
right. So as we thank you so much. So as we move forward, Simriti, there's something I mentioned in the starting of this conference that I'm really excited about: networking. All right, and I think being in the conference where we have lineup of speakers, we have experienced individuals in the climate change, and we have young climate activists as well. So that is something that's you are seeing a climate conference, there are more experienced professionals coming to a conference, and then again we have a lot of climate activists coming. So how does the feeling for all of us, like hosting the such people with different ideas and perspective coming together on a single platform, and we are hosting that? How do you feel about that?
Indeed. I remember when we were discussing our hosting, I remember I told you that I'm very excited for Zanera to come and she's going to tell us amazing thing and it's definitely going to be informative. I think Zanera, I totally agree with you. I believe change begins when you go out of your comfort zone. I've been an exchange student. I've represented Pakistan and Japan, and I totally agree with you. Whatever you learn, it's very important that you apply it to your community and they learn from it as well. At AG Welfare Society, the society itself was created by these 14 to 15 to 16-year-old individuals. So yes, definitely we include children and we are the one who are working today. Thank you so much for joining us. It was really informative. So for the next part of our segment, we have one more activity, which is quite engaging. I'd like to request Apna and Vanita to take the floor for the activity. It's going to be exciting, guys. And then we'll probably move towards a documentary as well. Thank you.
Hello, everyone. My name is Amna Salim, and I am a 14 years old climate activist. I am a part of AJ Welfare Society since last 4 years, and honestly, we AJ Welfare Society have been working to bring a
Yes, Amna, you're not audible to us.
There might be some technical difficulties, Simrti. I think we can move up to the document, I guess.
Am I audible?
Yes, you're not audible,
Sure,
Amna.
yes, you are. Yes, you are.
Oh, whenever my voice lags or cracks, do let me know, please. All right, so everyone, my name is Amna Salim, and I am a 14 years old.
All right. I think Amna is facing some of the technical issues. I think that's exactly it's absolutely fine. We have our documentary, another documentary by Asia Welfare Society. I'd like to request the technical team to play that. We're probably very excited. It's under Global Youth SG Summit. So it's like a rewind of what we have done so far. So yeah.
दुनिया में जन्नत जैसी दुनिया में जन्नत जैसी और कोई चाह नहीं ठोकर बिना ले चले मंजिल वो राह नहीं बिना मतलब खैर नहीं पूछती है पूरी दुनिया क्योंकि ये दुनिया तेरी माँ नहीं
ऐसे ख्वाबों में गुम मैं रात पहेली लिखती अकेली बाहों में भागूं सोते में
हर दूसरे सरकारी स्कूल की तरह दीवारें टूटी हुई, बेंचेस कटे हुए, बच्चों के चेहरे पे उदासी, उस्ताद गायब और माहौल में बस एक खामोशी थी। ऐसी खामोशी जो सपनों को मार देती है। और उस दिन उस माँ ने फैसला कर ही लिया कि उसकी बेटी वहां बिल्कुल भी नहीं पड़ेगी।
तुझे दिल से मिटाना कैसे भुलाना माजी मुझे कैसे सागर में गम डुबाना ऐसे ख्यालों में गुम मैं रात सहेली पूछो पहेली राजा और रानी कहानी पुरानी
OMG, what an emotional documentary, and that exactly shows us that how AJ Science College is actually setting new standards in education in the rural areas of Sindh. All right. So I'll give the floor to Simarthi. Simarthi, what do we have the next? And we have exciting lineup, by the way.
All right, all right. It was indeed emotional. So now we're going to move towards our activity. Finally, it's going to be presented by Varsha and Alaf. Varsha, Alaf, I hope you guys are ready, and the floor is yours now.
Hello, everyone. Am I audible?
Yes, you're audible.
Okay, so hello everyone. My name is Alapshek and I'm part of a cultural society and I'm from level first year.
Hello everyone, my name is Varsha Lohana and I'm a proud student of AJ Science College and a volunteer of AJ Welfare Society. And basically today we are going to do two activities with you all. The very first activity, we'll read a statement for you and all you need to do is, you need to complete it with any word.
So I think we should start this activity without wasting our time. Please move to the next slide. I request tech team to please move to the next slide.
Okay, so the very first statement is that climate change is a dash problem. It could be any problem. You can write it in the chat box, and if someone would unmute their mics and speak, that would be a pleasure actually. So climate change is a dash problem. It's a universal problem, okay? It's a serious, it's a global problem. It's a policy problem. We have got so many answers in the chat box. Okay, it's an inevitable problem, it's a major problem, unavoidable problem, big problem, huge problem, global problem, urgent problem. Okay, I guess we've got enough answers. Elaf, please continue with the second statement.
Okay, so here is the second statement. We should use less dash to protect Earth. What is the thing we should use less to protect our Earth? Okay, we have plastic, glue, non-usable plastic, yeah. Okay, so majority of people answered plastic and which is true. So yes, Varsha.
Okay. The next statement is cutting too many trees causes what? It is a general knowledge answer that we all are that we all have been doing since kindergarten, I guess. Global warming, plastic, deforestation. That's the correct answer. Okay, we have got deforestation again, global warming, hotter, deforestation. Okay, Laf, you can continue with the next statement. I guess we have got enough answers.
Okay, so the next statement is the Earth is getting dash over time. So what should be the answer? Warmer, cold over time. Okay.
Okay. The next statement is clean energy is also called dash energy. Did we get any answers? Renewable energy. Okay. Sustainable energy. Okay. Green energy. Green. Pure energy. Green energy. Sustainable energy. Renewable energy. Okay. We've got enough answers. You can go with the next one, Elaf.
Elaf, you're muted in case you're not realizing that. Their next statement is too much smoke causes our air. Dash. Okay, so yeah, the correct answer is pollution, and probably everyone gave.
Okay, I hope we are good to go with the next one. Melting ice can raise sea the next word. Okay, sea breeze, sea levels. Sea levels, okay. Sea level, yes, that's correct. That's the correct answer. That's the correct word to join eventually. Yes, Love, you can go with the next one.
So the next statement is we should save dash to protect resources. What we need to protect our resources. Okay, planet and earth, trees, water, earth. Okay. Everyone have their answers, but the correct answer is energy. Okay, Varsha, you can go with the next take.
Okay. The very last statement from my side. Planting trees help the what can be the next word? I want everyone to contribute with this. Greener earth, environment, world, oxygen, environment, environment, climate, environment, good environment, reduce carbon dioxide, climate, environment, and helps reduce carbon dioxide from atmosphere. Okay. Erosion, environment. Okay, I guess we've got enough answers. Alaf, you can go with the last statement.
Okay, so last statement for this activity is climate change can affect weather dash. Okay, pattern, effect, systems. Okay, majority of people answer pattern. So yeah, the correct answer was the pattern. I request tech team to please move to next slide so we'll proceed with our next activity.
All right. Thank you so much, Alaf and Varsha, for engaging the audience. I think we're done with your activity now, finally, and I also like to appreciate the audience for actively participating. I'd like to pass the stage to Saad for introducing our next speaker. Saad, please open your mic.
That. All right, so as we have amazing line of speakers, our next speaker is Kristen Alexandria, a youth advocate and leader and a public speaker who works for women empowerment and a US Youth Assembly Ambassador 2026 happening in Switzerland. She's from Canada and a young change maker. So everybody have a big round of applause for her. Everybody have a big round of virtual applause for her. Kristen, the virtual phrase is all yours.
Hi, thank you so much, everyone. And let me just share my screen so that I could have my presentation. Okay. Hold on. Okay. So can everyone see? Okay, so I'm seeing a bit of head nods. So yes, thank you so much, Saad, for that wonderful introduction. And it really is inspiring being in this space, hearing so much of your passion and seeing how young everyone is. And I think you guys are a very young group because usually when I am in these type of conferences, it would be with people who are already professionals, who are older, and it's really inspiring to see a lot of young people interested in making a difference in the world. So just another quick intro for me. I am a 19-year-old change maker that's passionate about youth leadership and empowerment. And here are my social media links if you wanted to connect with me through those: Facebook, Instagram, email, and LinkedIn. And I would like to take my time to talk about my journey, especially as somebody who is just starting out, and all the lessons I've learned in between. So I have 3 things that I have prepared, and let's talk about the first one. So it's one thing to inspire and another to be inspired. And this is something that I always tell myself because sometimes I notice that when I see other people succeeding, especially people around my age or the same demographics as me, I sometimes get jealous. And that's normal because you see them achieving something that you could. But instead of letting that something intimidate you, you should let it inspire you, because it's definitely one thing to inspire. Maybe you have achieved a great achievement or overcome an obstacle, a challenge, and that's also good. But before you get there, you also have to be inspired. So that's how I started. I was inspired by somebody. And a really important lesson I learned through this is that to not let other people's achievements make you feel small. Instead, you should let it allow for it for you to realize how big you can be. So if you can see that, oh, that's how much they can do, then you can realize, oh, I think I can do that as well. And it inspires you. And that's exactly how I started, because I remember I was thinking about this achievement before and I didn't know if I could do it until I saw my friend from my high school post the same thing. And I was like, maybe I can achieve it, because if she can, who's to say that I can't? So I did, and it was actually a pageant. But what was so important to me about this experience is that it was it's um it's a charitable pageant. So a lot of charity was involved, and that was the main thing that kept me going, because I'm not really a pageant person. I just really wanted to try the experience out. But through this experience, I was able to lead a self-defense workshop for the youth and women in my city here in London, Ontario, because I was reached out to by a women empowerment organization that I now volunteer as and was a board member of. And it was really an awesome experience, because imagining that this all started with a little pageant that I joined, and now I am leading self-defense workshop that help make women and the youth feel safe. So that's one of my first projects. And then the second one was that I was a speaker at an international summit, and it was actually overseas because it was held in the Philippines. So I was online, but it was to the high school students of the Jose Rizal University. And I talked about the amelioration of children's needs. And one thing I really highlighted in that talk is that the children are not only the future, we are also the present. So we are in charge of our own future. So we need the resources, the support, the help that we can get in order to maximize our potential. So yes, I really advocate for children's needs, especially because I know that it is up to us. We shouldn't leave the responsibility to anybody else, because we, as Mahatma Gandhi said, I believe in the saying that we should be the change we want to see in the world. And that's something that I always carry with me when I am doing advocacy such as this. I also led an cultural workshop. So the national sport of my country, the Philippines, is arnis. So I led a workshop on that in the Filipino school here in my city, and as well as establish my role as a cultural performer. And then also I'm part of the leadership team of my sport, which is Taekwondo. So yeah, it's a lot of leadership here and there, and really it's just so nice seeing the kids be so passionate about the things they believe in. And that's something that always keeps me going, especially when things get busy, especially when there's just a lot of things happening. I know to myself that this is what I believe in, so I should just push through. And then after that, I also went to the Philippines to visit the charities affiliated with my pageant organization. And I would say this was um, the real experience that started everything for me. This is when I realized that I wanted to be involved in change making. We visited a lot of charities, and I've seen the help that so many people in the Philippines need. So I promised myself that I wanted to be more involved in charity. And so I looked for more opportunities once I got back here in Canada, and one of that was the Youth Assembly in New York. So I went to the assembly, and at first I was very intimidated because it was full of people who are older and more experienced and more knowledgeable. But it really was an experience that helped me learn a lot about myself and about who I want to be. And that's something I will be talking about later. And yeah, it opened another opportunity for me, which is to become an ambassador for the Youth Assembly. And that's actually how I met Saad. So thank you so much for that opportunity, because I don't think I wouldn't be here if I didn't reach out to Saad about the assembly. And yes, these conferences always are such an inspiration because it gathers all the young leaders who believe in the same thing. And I think it's important to surround yourself with those type of people, because they are the people who will only help you uplift yourself and your work. And yeah, from that, I have won awards, and those only help me inspire other people. Yeah, the awards are really cool, but I value more how other people take it for themselves. So if they see me winning an award, I really wish that it's also inspiring for them to go after the things that they've always wanted to go for. And yeah, all of these I wouldn't have achieved if I didn't allow myself to be inspired. So I hope that if you guys see your friends or maybe people on the internet post about their achievements, that you don't let it intimidate you. You should let it inspire you and realize how big you can just make yourself. So that was my first lesson. And then my second is it's okay to be the smallest in the room. And this is something I think we can all relate in, because we are all young and sometimes we think that our thoughts are not valued or worth sharing because we don't know much. But really, it's the complete opposite. All of our thoughts, our opinions matter because we always provide a unique perspective for others to realize. And I can
Yes,
really, oh, sorry.
sorry for interrupting your conversation.
Uh-huh.
Can you please conclude your session as soon as possible, as we have shortage of time?
Okay, sure. Yeah. Yeah, so I can compare this experience in attending the youth assembly because there were delegates from all over the world that attended, and I was the youngest. They were from 18 to 35, and I was 18 at that time. And I attended with 500 or maybe even 700 people, and I was just somebody with big dreams and even bigger passion, but not much experience. And even when I was feeling down, I kept going, and I attended this one session that really, I think, was for me, because they said that even if you're the smallest in the room, what matters is you are in the room, and that is all that matters because your voice matters. And I also got to meet a bunch of people that really helped me figure out how I want to work things out for myself, because who better to surround yourself than people who have already achieved so much, because they were in the position we were before, and they're helping us with tips and advices that can help us reach our goal faster. So that was my second lesson. And then the third one is that there's no win or lose, it's always win or learn. And I think a lot of us are really held back by the fear of failing. But I don't think you fail, because if you, let's say, if you don't win, you'll always learn something from it. And that's what I did when I applied to be an ambassador for the Youth Assembly. So I applied, and I didn't really think I would win, but I just did, because it was an opportunity I did not want to miss out on. And if I did not get it, then at least I tried, right? I would know what better to do next time. So yeah, that's where I learned that to go for the opportunities that you don't feel confident in, because you never know if you're gonna get it. And yeah, I got the opportunity, so that's really amazing. And yeah, as how would you really know if you never tried? So just keep going for them, because if you don't try, then you're just gonna be a quitter and a failure. And if you do try, it's either you win or you learn. So I think winning and then learning is two wins in itself. So the only time you become a failure is when you don't try at all. And because when you win what you deserve. And then when you learn and improve. It's because loss does not equal failure. And yeah, these are the three things that I learned. Again, it's one thing is to inspire, but another to be inspired. And then the second one is it's okay to be the smallest in the room. And then third one is to win or learn. And yeah, that wraps up my small talk. And then here again is my social media account. And if you did want to talk to me about the Youth Assembly, which I am an ambassador for, feel free to reach out to me in LinkedIn or in my email. Thank you so much.
A heartfelt thank you to Christina Ko for her inspiring presence and valuable contribution to this space. I truly admire all the points that you have given us that we should always be the youngest in the room and we should always not look over to other achievements. Rather, we should work for ourselves. I truly acknowledge that. Moving forward, it is my privilege to introduce our next speaker, someone from Karachi, someone who has a vision to transform Pakistan in the till the year of 2050. Hamad Tanveer from Karachi, Pakistan, chairman of the Hamad Foundation and Dynamic Limited, and a student of international relations at Zabis. For nearly a decade, he has been working on youth-led initiatives, social impact, and community development across Pakistan. He is turning vision into real action on the ground, honestly. He believes that change is not something we wait for, but something we build through consistent effort. Wow. And with a long term vision of transforming Pakistan by 2050, his focus remains on collective action, youth engagement, and meaningful impact. The floor is yours, Hamad.
Okay, so thank you so much for having me in this conference. Firstly, I would like to introduce myself and the organization. My name is Hamad Tanveer, and I've done graduation in international relations from Zabis University, Karachi. And I try to change Pakistan, as said in the introduction. Change is not something that we should wait for. We can bring change with our own, the capacity we have, the resources we have. So I started this journey in 2015, 29th December 2015, and it's almost 11 years, almost 11 years now. So we are working on different things, like food security. We have our roti banks in Karachi. We have our medical complex in Pakistan. We have our skill valleys. We have our schools. We have our rose employment projects. We have our women rozgar centers. We have our water plants. We have like water dams in Pakistan. So we are working all around Pakistan, and our mission ultimately is to change Pakistan by 2050. But now I am here to highlight the very important issue, which the world is about to see in few years, and few parts of the world are already seeing this. Because Pakistan is amongst the top 10 countries which lies in most affected countries which will be affected by climate change. So it's our responsibility to raise our voice, raise our concern regarding the carbon emission third world countries made and make, and the countries like Pakistan have to face the consequences eventually. So what Hamad Foundation is doing. So Hamas Foundation, continues to expand its climate action efforts by engaging in like communities. Like we are arranging grand plantation drives every week, because from March to like 2 3 months we have a very good season for plantation. So we have a mission of that 1 million plants in Pakistan. We plan to plant 1 million plants in Pakistan, and out of which almost 30,000 plus plants have been planted all around Pakistan. So we are continuing to increase this capacity also. Also we are doing cleanups, beach cleanups, mainly to reduce marine pollution and raise awareness about plastic waste and different. Recently we arranged the biggest beach cleanup of Pakistan on 25th December 2025, and almost 4,000 plus people attended this activity. You can check on our social media. If someone likes, they can just search Hamad Foundation on Instagram, and every platform we have our social medias available. So our next grand plantation drive will be on 14th of August 2026, and we expect to be the not Pakistan but world's biggest beach cleanup. We are also planning to invite Guinness World Record, uh, to come to they can send their team and just see the passion of Gen Z and count the number, because we really wanted this beach cleanup, upcoming beach cleanup, to be the biggest beach cleanup the world has ever witnessed, because Pakistan has very, unique and very beautiful beaches, but sadly we are not taking care of that properly. So we are trying to adopt eco-friendly habits in our lives, because we are Gen Z. We our time lies ahead, so it's important we take decisions and involve our community in activities which are very which are very climate friendly. We have to reduce plastic use. Also, we are going in different schools, universities, colleges, and we are telling them how to plant trees. Everyone want to plant a tree in Pakistan, but they don't know the exact way how they can plant the trees. Also, additionally, we are also working on clean water access, so that plants are getting regular, you can say, proper water, proper sanitation they are getting. Because in Pakistan it's very common, you plant a tree and after maybe few days or few weeks someone comes and take that plant away. So we are also making sure they are grown up very with you can say very, we are giving very importance afterwards, after we have done the plantation. So we are with a strong like commitment to creating a positive impact. Also the foundation actively engages volunteers, local communities in meaningful projects. Mainly we work on Gen Z empowerment, because we believe that Gen Z from now on needs awareness. Also we try to give humanitarian support to other people through our platform, by promoting, you can say, responsibility, compassion, and also sustainable practice. The Hamad Foundation strives to build a better and greener Pakistan, because deforestation is very common in different parts of Pakistan. So we want to also raise awareness about this. So thank you so much for my time. I hope that my point makes sense. Thank you.
Uh, Thank you, Sir Hamad. I would like to sincerely thank you for your presence and for sharing your journey with us today. Your work really reflects action at scale, from organizing some of the largest beach cleanup on 25th of December to leading initiatives focused on environmental reforestation. And what truly stands out in our vision is planting 1 million trees. That's not as a slogan, but as a long-term commitment to rebuilding and restoring national ecosystems. We deeply appreciate your efforts and we look forward to exploring opportunities to collaborate with, with you through platforms like the Global Youth SDGs Summit, where youth driven action is turned into real impact. Thank you, sir, for your presence and for sharing such great perspectives with us. The stage is yours, Simran.
Indeed. Thank you so much, sir, for joining us. I heard there's another beach cleanup on 14th of August. I really wish and I'll make sure that some students from Asia Welfare Society also join that beach cleanup. I'll be definitely there. So, up next, we're moving towards our ending. So, before ending this entire segment, we will now move towards picture. So, I request the tech team to ready for the picture segment and also request everyone to open their cameras if they're comfortable for a picture section. Yes. We're just waiting, waiting, waiting.
Okay, so already we're going to take a picture with the sign of youth. That's something like this. Everybody.
Yeah. This one's great one. Yeah. We can go for this one. We can have multiple. So first we can go for this youth sign.
Yes.
I request everyone to open their cameras if they're comfortable again. I guess we're ready, tech team. I guess it's done as well. So now let's also have a normal one. All right. I hope so. It's done, just one, isn't it? Yes, it's done. So again, we are now going to move towards the ending. I'd like to thank each one of you for joining this summit. Honestly, we've been working on it since 2 weeks, and I saw it as something very successful. I just wanted to create a place where people can learn, share their ideas, and interact with each other. So I think we really got our benchmark on that. So I like to pass the floor to Saad for the particular ending.
For sure, Simriti. And I'll again mention in the starting of the summit, I really mentioned I was really excited about networking, and we had amazing line of speakers, we had amazing activities. And what makes this summit special is the young people, especially from Pakistan, especially from Balochistan, joining us for the summit. And that was all our motive was to organize such a summit where you'd have a chance to actually the mice would be heard at such a global platform. And honestly, have a big round of applause for our tech team who worked tirelessly behind the scene for this wonderful summit. Everybody have a big round of applause for our tech team. You know, they had a really amazing job. All right. And today it was more than just a summit. It was more than just another session or a set of conversation for me. I think it was just a space where ideas met each other and where awareness becomes the responsibility of our each other. Mahesh, what do you think of that? Isn't it?
For me, yes, indeed it is. For me, today was not just about speakers or sessions, it was about perspective, about seeing climate change not a distant topic, but as something already shaping our present, our today. We heard ideas, we heard experiences, and we also heard responsibility, ownership. But now the real question is not what we heard here, it is what we choose to do after this. Because awareness means nothing if it doesn't turn into action. So don't leave this summit with just thoughts or inspiration. Leave with one decision, one small action you will actually follow through on. Thank you for staying engaged, for being present, and for being part of the AJ Climate Summit 2026. And with that, this session is officially concluded. Thank you.
Yes, thank you everyone for joining. Thank you for showing up again. Thank you for being present, engaged, and thank you for believing that change is actually possible.
Bye bye, guys. Thank you so much. And honestly,
Bye
being
bye.
a host of us, such an audience, such a young people, Simriti, Mahesh, it was such a wonderful experience listening to people, listening to perspective, listening to ideas, their stories, their experiences. It was such a wonderful experience. Thank you, everyone, for being the part of AJ Climate Summit again in the second edition. And
Indeed.
we'll see you in our next summit. So, bye bye, everyone. Bye bye. Thank you so much for joining us for today.
Yes, bye bye everyone. Indeed. And if you guys want to
Bye
link
bye.
with us more, we'll just share our Linktree link in the comment section so you guys can stay connected to us. We have another event coming up on the 5th of May, which is Inner Strength Expo. So make sure that you guys also see that and probably join us as well. Thank you so much.